Off and on the clock with the Badge Bros running through this week 8 slate on Underdog. 13 games, no buys, all kinds of avenues for us to discuss. Scroll down plays, best ADP values. We will also look specifically at small field tournament strategy with the Deposit Kingdom 3 max contest launching here in a few short minutes, as well as 12-person draft strategy. We still got the Dog Bowl as we all chase tickets to Dallas. And then you know what we do at the end. We spice it up. Get some spicy margs, some Kyle Pitts touchdowns in the pick'ems. It's what we do. Don't turn off because I said Kyle Pitts touchdowns in the pick'ems. We will include lots of players. This is Off and On the Clock. I realized in real time how you alienate an audience saying we're lock buttoning Kyle Pitts in a pick'em.
I mean, it used to be true. But the audience has expanded over the last couple of years, and we've got a little more diversified in our picks. But we might have to go back to the Kyle Pitts one of these days. It's been a minute since I felt something.
The haters don't want to talk about his increased participation these days, Nez.
They don't. They absolutely don't. I was just going to make a comment, back end, your viewer retention probably just like takes a real sharp dive after you mentioned Kyle Pitts there. But no, this could be the week. This could be the week. I do really like this spot. We'll get into it, but and right on cue, we were talking about it behind the paywall. All the comments talking about the backdrop just right off the rip. This isn't the house yet, folks. You'll know when it's the house. This is still the downstairs setup at the old apartment.
I commented on it right when Nez hopped on, and then I was like, everyone in the chat is going to comment about your setup. Like, we're also thrown by anything that deviates from the norm, and we're so used to seeing your bootlegged hangers over there with your Dog Bowl shirt, your Pirates jerseys.
Yeah. No, I'm not gonna lie, man. As I was packing up, like I got a little sentimental. Started the Badge Bros journey in that room, that closet, like 2.5 years ago or however long it's been. And, it was like, damn, like, all right, we're moving up and moving onward. So a little senti, I'm a sensitive guy.
Let me put your mind at ease. Nobody's going to miss the coat rack, bro. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
No,
you're mistaken. You're mistaken.
Nez, I did the same thing when I moved from my condo. I moved here a couple years ago. And so like when I had started out doing content, like all my first videos, the first man's videos, the first podcast were all in my old office. And I think I saw you do a photo of like you standing in your like empty space. I ended up taking a selfie the day I moved to it. I was like, this is weird. Like I spent a lot of time making shows in this room and now I'll never see it again.
Yeah, it's a weird feeling, right? I mean, go through like chapters in life and whatnot, but everybody's saying I get my seagull on. That's right. So get ready for some serious gal brain in the pick'em segment.
Hey, I mean, Jaden Reed and Brock Bowers this week, not too bad. You could do worse there. That's through and through seagull guys.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, even as someone who drafted a lot of Brock Bowers, I don't think I could have even ever imagined that by week 8, he'd just be tight end 1 with a bullet and it wouldn't even be like a debate.
Yeah, it's awesome to see. I was not ready for that.
Yeah.
My bags aren't ready for it.
We got a lot to cover this week. Before I guess we do like ADP specific stuff, like how are you guys feeling in general? What have you guys been playing as far as 6-person piling into Dog Bowls? Like, what are you guys feeling about this slate?
I mean, I got almost 10 Dog Bowls under my belt, a little lower than usual. Been playing a lot of the hoop stuff, but guys, actually, that's a little interesting segue. Should this be a hoop show now? I heard both you guys having some success in the hoop streets there.
I needed it, man. I was mending the wounds from the last 2 weeks of the NFL season. So we're like halfway recovered from the L's that I've been taking in the NFL streets. But it was nice to see the ball go in the net, no pun intended. So I have my confidence back for this NFL slate, even though they're two different sports.
Well, it was last week, Nez. I was like, don't change your process. Stick with what you know. You're going to weather this downswing. What
and then the slate imploded. The crossover is just like my absolute jam. I don't know what it is about that contest, but it's the 5 max $30 and it's like top 5 win. my ROI is insane in that. I don't even know what I'm doing in there, like different from other drafts. But I took second in that 2 nights in a row, and then I took first in the $100 pick and roll last night. So
there
nice.
you go.
We're feeling a lot better. So
Well,
I moved into the new house. I have some money in my account for once. It's great.
I mean, like I wasn't in the side contest, but I just heard through the grapevine that one went down. And then Pete, you took one down too, didn't you?
The crossover 2 nights ago. Yeah.
You guys are the crossover kings.
I don't understand it.
No, I'm dabbling a little bit. I'm dabbling. In my head, I was like, oh, when NFL's over, I want to, try hoops a little bit more. But you see too many of you guys talking hoops. I thought, all right, we'll dabble, and then just baked the first night. And so I was like, okay, I guess we're gonna do this a little bit more.
Go ahead, John.
No, just like how it stems into the slate and stuff is like you can see that like a lot of the drafts have become naturally backweighted this week because a lot of people are playing hoops every single night, and a lot of the liquidity from the power drafters is going towards hoops. So you are seeing dog bowls take a little bit longer to get filled. You do see the BR fill rate lagging a little bit behind. So I just kind of ask you guys, like, in terms of like macro strategy, like the whole notion of CLV this week seems not redundant, but like just seems like inconsequential, I guess, because the contests aren't at as great a fill as they typically would be at this point in the week.
It's an interesting point. I do think there's like a question of like, I don't know if anybody's ever done analysis on like, does CLV earn you any real dollars other than Skolansky bucks in the daily streets? I think there was a couple slates ago where that was maybe the case with Ken Walker, but like otherwise, I mean, does it even matter? Like the best plays are going to present themselves in each round. For me though, this week I did, I tried to get as many dog bowls as I could before Wednesday. So I have 20 dog bowls down and 2 Wildcats, and that's it. Because I was like, I need to do I need the NBA to put me in a place where I can play NFL how I want to play NFL again. Cause it was at that point. So I'm there and I'm excited to talk through this slate. My early leans, just a quick overview, were a lot of Javonte Williams, a lot of Kareem Hunt, and a lot of Amari and Josh Allen stacks. So that's
nice.
all.
Interesting. I was poo-pooing the Kareem Hunt stuff early in the week, so we're on opposite ends of the spectrum there.
What was it? It was last week, John. You were opposite me and Nez on a lot of stuff, and then I'm pretty sure we all just got dusted in NFL last week. So it was, if we were on opposite ends, you know what? It was the shit right in the middle that hit last week.
Yeah, the perfect Venn diagram of Mixon and Gibbs just hanging out in the middle is what we all missed.
Yeah. I should mention, you guys have heard me mention before, the Deposit Kingdom video will go live after this show. And I did kind of an exploration about that chalk hitting, specifically looking at Gibbs, Mixon, and Njoku and kind of the evergreen section and kind of like some takeaways from that. So if you are still licking your wounds from last week, I think you'll enjoy that portion. What about for you, John? Let's talk kind of like a little bit more macro stuff. Like obviously 13 game slate means there is a lot more options. Although I would say I feel that at quarterback, running back, and tight end, but not at wide receiver. I was just talking about it from a redacted standpoint with JM, and it's like, man, wide receiver is a very thin pool this week.
Yeah, feel the exact same way. That's how I started early in the week there, that I was pushing up the wide receivers and the 6-men's there. A little bit of the Tyreek stuff I was pushing up early, but I was a little more skittish on the potential of like Tua not playing early, and now obviously that's been weathered. But I felt very similarly to you. All my favorite scrolls were at the running back position, and then the onesies just kind of like mixing and matching, and then especially in the dog bowl stuff, all the wide receivers that I was looking at like later were all stack options. So it was funneling me to like more correlated like skinny stack stuff over and over again, because I could flip a coin between, if you just get down, we can use an isolated example, but like flip a coin between Christian Kirk, Jalen McMillan, and Bateman this week. Well, if I took Lamar, I'm going to take the Bateman stuff. If I took whatever, I'm going to take what I'm getting at. So yeah, I've been funneling myself to a lot of skinny stacks, but it's weird for a 13 game slate that no real big game environment stuff. Like I got my slop it up fest of the week and stuff like that ready. But I mean, I just there's no real, like last week it was like, oh, I can pinpoint some game environments I want to get to. This week it's kind of like, give me a skinny stack and then let me just try and hit a bunch of one-offs that I think project nicely and are going to be the focal point of their game environment.
Yeah, I think if you did the Family Feud survey, a bunch of random people, what is your favorite game of the week? Like, it would be more spread out this week than any other week. Where last week everyone would just be like, oh, Detroit and Minnesota, easy game. Whereas this week, I don't see a consensus. I don't see even the way like drafts line up. There isn't like a super comfy like double stack like that we've had in past weeks. And it was interesting. I was doing LOLs with Brick yesterday, and he was pulling up some of Nerdy's just like optimal sim rates for like flex usage and stacking. And two things abnormal to previous weeks. This was showing as a really good week to do naked quarterback, like by a really significant
that checks
margin.
out.
Which checked out. Yeah, if you've done any drafts, that checks out. And obviously a really good double running back week, which again checks out. So not being more open to naked quarterback has been a huge leak, I think, in my large field BR game. So I'm going to try to use this week's kind of nudge to be better about that. But you guys have any kind of like roster construction thoughts?
I got a question.
Go ahead, John. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, sorry. I got a question just that tails that for both of you guys. Like when I think about the archetype of the quarterbacks that are available in the six persons that are leading to that occurring. So if you look at the top three quarterbacks, like, it's going to be Lamar, JA, and Hurts. Outside of that, like, that's why I think like the naked quarterback thing makes it a lot of sense intuitively. But would you guys be willing to do it with Love? Because that's something that I talked about this week. Okay, interesting. All right, because it's like really hard to pinpoint.
He's like the best one.
The ball to
exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. So I don't know. There was my mental hurdle where it's like for the six persons, that makes a lot of sense that naked quarterback would sim well because of the archetype of the first three quarterbacks. But then after that, then what kind of deal?
Yeah, I think Love makes a lot of sense to go naked. Or if you're like really uncomfortable with him going naked, doing like Tucker Kraft, because we don't really see like the explosion weeks for Love come to Dontavian Wicks is like really like what we've seen for the most part. Jaden Reed had like a nice week one, and like other than that, like hasn't really popped off. Watson is good for like one long touchdown, hasn't really popped off. So I do like the idea of, like doing naked Love. And then if you are like uncomfortable doing that, like Tucker Kraft is like a very fine option. I mean, this matchup for Jacksonville sets up to be like my favorite game of the week. I'm not sure about the weather yet, but I think you're going to make more money than you lose by not caring about weather. Jacksonville's defense is terrible, and I think their offense is like kind of coming together pretty nicely. Maybe Evan Ingram was the guy they needed to get things moving. But I respect the Packers defense, but I think if Jacksonville has something going offensively where they can actually go blow for blow with a team like the Packers, this game could be super awesome.
Yeah. And I'm with you. I mean, we've seen, I'm torn on the Love as a naked thing. One, we've already seen it hit. I completely agree with the spread out nature. It is tough because the naked thesis rests on the rushing generally in a big way. And Love just sneakily, I mean, we all, I think, maybe thought he was going to rush a little bit more, but he's not a rushing quarterback. I think I'd still rather default to like trying to do the craft or trying to guess which one. Like even when his stacking partner hasn't been, say, optimal, like the Romeo Dobbs 2 TD week, I think he tapped out at like 16, 17 points. I'm still like, I would rather have like Dobbs Love to in my draft, Wicks Love, because he's going to support one guy who's going to get 15 plus. And I'm almost like willing to sacrifice maybe the 5 points or whatever that versus the ceiling optimal just to have the correlation angle. But I do think he's an interesting discussion point because he is that tweener of like naked or stacked.
Maybe it's contest specific then. So maybe the skinny stack and like the tack on sacrificing a little bit plays better in the smaller field stuff, but in the main BR we can get away with playing them naked.
Yeah. If you get like a nice wide receiver too, potentially, but this week, we kind of off the top talked about how wide receiver, falls off a cliff. You're probably not sacrificing a lot to guess at the same time. So just a feather in Pete's cap. But I do think that naked Love's fine.
Yeah. The team that won the the Deposit Kingdom contest last week was a naked team. And I actually used it as kind of a talking point where I was kind of nitpicking because they actually would have won if they used any of the other stacking partners that they had with their pass catchers. They still would have won. So interesting to think through that. John, you filtered us over to the wide receiver tab. We mentioned how kind of thinned out this week is. What are you seeing here?
Well, I was just really intrigued by that Q tag on T. Higgins all of a sudden, because he was projecting really well across the industry, but primarily in the ETR stuff there. And there was a little bit of conversation going on in the Discord surrounding that and why that may be. But now all of a sudden we see a quad thing in practice on a Friday here, which, for a guy who's already missed 2 games this year, that doesn't bode greatly, because he was one of those players that people were starting to get comfortable pushing up into the second round when you took running back in the first round of the 6-mans there. So that throws a nice little wrinkle into things there. Just macro for me, I've been doing a lot more of the Texans stuff than everybody else has, and I've kind of been soft fading Mixon early. I know he projects well. I know I don't know what to do with Mixon at this point. I don't have a good answer. I played the shit out of it on the Q tag week. I played none of it last week when he was priced up a little bit. I might just have to buy into the notion that they want to establish it and he's a good football player. But that being said, I've been playing that one through the pass attack angle, perimeter wide receivers cooking. Indy, this looks like a pass get right spot for the pass game after CJ Stroud only threw for 80 yards last week. So my favorite thing thus far, both in the 6 and the 12s, has been doing some Tank Dell. 2 red zone targets last week. I don't know. That's just what I've been doing, and that's been my fallback WR2 over and over and over again.
It's not going to surprise you to know that I'm back on the Tank Dell stuff.
You're back. Again. He's back, baby. I like it.
Little spoiler for the Deposit Kingdom video later today.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I'm if we're talking scroll down territory here.
Yeah, let's pivot to that.
Yeah, sure. I'm really into the Seattle stuff this week. Nice. against the Bills. I think we should probably expect a decrease in pass volume if DK Metcalf doesn't go, and he hasn't practiced, I don't believe, as far as
not yet.
Yeah, no. For sure. For all intents and purposes, he's doubtful. So a lot of that volume is going to funnel to these two, and I'm just surprised there isn't a little bit more enthusiasm for it, because I fully expect Seattle to be playing from behind in this game. So even if they want to do the Ken Walker establish it, game plan, if they can't hold this Buffalo offense, which I doubt it, right? I'm very much into this Bills offense with the addition of Amari Cooper. I think that just changes the whole dynamic of how teams game plan and what that does for the ancillary pieces there. This is going to shape up for maybe a volume merchant game for JSN, or Tyler Lockett 2 touchdown, season we are used to from years past, vintage Lockett. So I'm excited for it. I'm playing it. They are at home as well to put a feather in that cap. I would definitely consider it probably in run backs in main BR, just because it's such a far scroll. But I don't think that it's sacrificing too much. Am I crazy?
Nope.
I don't think so. Yeah, I like the Tyler Lockett shout too. I think you could do something where it's I will say in the 6-mans, we were looking at some of the Battle Royale combo ownership data, and Allen and Cooper is one of the most frequented combos. If you're taking Allen, people are just clicking Cooper every time. We know you can run naked Josh Allen, something like Josh Allen with Lockett, where you're just saying Lockett speeds up that game. Allen, kind of consolidates on that side, and you don't have to guess, who he's throwing the ball to. So I like those angles there. I feel so burned by JSN for some reason. I just have a hard time being objective with him, but I think he can play with his target projection.
Yeah, the speed up the game notion stuff is going to funnel through the deeper ADOT stuff, and that's the Tyler Lockett stuff.
Yeah, I even see it on it was unredacted when I was looking at the ETR projections. Jake Bobo's popping a little bit. So. Do you think Jake Bobo's been drafted into Dog Bowl yet?
I don't think so. No.
He has no ADP. Not that applies to Dog Bowls. I would say no, because JSN and Lockett are 6-round Dog Bowl picks still. So
yeah,
But
I
probably should be.
some of these guys didn't make my cut for the video, but a couple spots I've been a little interested in for scroll down is the Bears coming off the bye versus Washington. I think Keenan in Rome. I like DJ Moore, but DJ Moore kind of falls right in that threshold where he's getting drafted a good bit. And then like Rome and Keenan aren't at all. That kind of spot looked a little interesting to me. Do you guys have any other thoughts on that or other scroll down wide receivers?
Sorry, I kind of lost you guys there for a split second. DJ Moore and who was the other one you mentioned there, Pete?
Oh, I was just talking all the Bears receivers, but kind of more so
yeah.
to the Keenan and Rome side of it, just when looking at kind of their draft percentages.
What if we go double rookie post buy bump with Rome and Caleb? I mean,
yeah,
who would be surprised? The one thing that has surprised me is how I think the Washington defense is sort of holding their own more than I like expect week after week. But you know, I don't want to like get too caught up in that notion, especially when I love the Bears as much as I do here. The bummer is, you know, if Daniels doesn't play, you know, how slow does this game become? But trending toward a game time decision, it seems like it's mostly pain tolerance for him. So if he ends up waking up feeling good on Sunday, this game could be awesome.
Yeah. I think
waking up.
Oh, go ahead. You're good.
Waking up on Sunday next. Is our boy going to wake up pissed off on Sunday or what?
Young Trey Palmer? Oh man.
Yeah. Is it too far?
I think it's too far, but definitely like an intriguing play for sure. These Bucs receivers right now, I think are really, really interesting, like totally undrafted. And I do think one of them can have a chance to matter. I don't know who, but like I have like no fear of this Falcons defense. One of the worst in EPA allowed in the league right now. And obviously losing Godwin and Evans is such a big deal. Like it obviously is, but like I just see it in Baker's eyes, man. This guy has no fear at all. He doesn't give a damn shit at all about losing these guys. He wants to. I got faith in him, man. I got faith in him. So I mean, we talk about the wide receivers now, but Otton I think is just like still way too cheap in dog bowls. But
yeah, okay, yeah.
The onesies in general are just so cheap in dog bowls this week.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Let's maybe move to running back, where I think it's definitely a more fun scroll down slate as far as kind of the quality of options you're getting, let's say after ADP of like 33 or so. There were two that didn't make my cut for the video because I knew they're going to end up closer to 40, 50, 60% by lock. And that would be J.K. Dobbins and Javonte Williams. So I kind of include them slightly out of the range as scroll down. I think they're really good picks. I'm going to have a decent amount of them, but they're not necessarily like off the radar at this point. Nez, you got any running backs you're liking?
So that's been like tough for me to scroll because in dog bowls, when I'm on the clock and I see Javonte and Kareem Hunt, either one of those guys, obviously Kareem first based on ADP, he's been just like a smash for me. Some scroll down guys that I do have queued up here. I had Rachaad White in my player pool. His ADP, I'm trying to look right now because honestly, it's been a minute. RB 19 right now. So Bucky like was trending out, and then we get the news today that like he might play. So like that kind of like threw a wrench in this Rachaad White call. But if the pass volume is going to remain high in this game, if the Falcons push them, I think Rachaad White is in for a major pass catching role here. Obviously, nice game in prime time, fresh on the mind, but the price seems very right for Rachaad White this week. Like I think he's totally draftable in 6-mans.
I was really into him when it looked like Bucky was gonna miss, and now I think I'm out on it. Even like how he got there in that game against the Ravens was definitely like game's out of hand, garbage time mode. He's on the field for every passing down snap. And I do think you can run on this Atlanta team. So I think we'll see more Tucker and Bucky. I want to remain open to it. And definitely if Bucky doesn't play or is not trending in the right direction, I think it's really strong. But man, just the way they've been utilizing those guys in a 3-way split, it is tough, I think.
Before we got the Bucky's going to play and just had the 2 DMPs like you were alluding to there, Nez, I had him as my core pick'em of the week, the Rachaad White receptions, because we were getting a little spice on it too. It was 1-1-3. So I was like, ooh, here we go. But yeah, I was like, we could get ahead of that one. I
still don't mind the receptions angle for him.
Okay. Maybe we'll use it there later if it's still up. But I had to get these last ones off I don't know, something was kind of like lagging again there for me for whatever reason there. But when we were doing the wide receiver, I got to get these ones off my chest. I've been doing a little bit of the Cleveland stuff, the Judy plus Tillman, Coleman as the contrarian stack with Josh Allen that other people aren't getting to. Chris Olave being free right now, and then just playing that Cortland Sutton with the Bo Nix angle. Everyone's playing Nix and everyone's playing Javonte, so I was like, why not play a little Sutton? All right, got him out of my system.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, I think that makes sense there. What do you guys think about Kamara?
I'm not into him in this spot because like I'm a huge Chargers defense respector, and that bit me in the ass last week because I thought they were gonna just blow up the Cardinals and J.K. Dobbins was gonna have a monster game. Didn't happen the way that I expected it to. They obviously lost that game, but I've been like off Kamara. Like he's been playing with a broken hand. His ribs are banged up. I'm not a real fan of how this team is trajecting or the matchup. Not to like completely shit on that name that was thrown out there, but I'm not like I'm not doing it. I'm not touching it. I mean, the guy. I have an alternative to Kamara, but John, what are your thoughts on Kamara before I give that pivot?
That I'm playing Taysom at tight end. So it negatively correlates with my full practice Taysom today. I'm fine with the Kamara stuff, especially in the dog bowls a little deeper down there. But I actually prefer Jonathan Taylor this week. So I was taking Jonathan Taylor over him. Yeah, that was kind of where I was falling in that like range, for instance. But if Kamara was there as my second running back in the dog bowl, it's really hard not to click it.
Yeah.
Can I guess yours, Ness?
Yeah, please.
Is it James Cook?
I do like James Cook. He's in my player pool. I was going to throw out David Montgomery as an option here.
Yeah.
He goes like 4th round, 5th round in dog bowls. I think people are like waiting for the Q tag to come up on David Montgomery. He's not on the injury report. He's just not on it. So this Tennessee team sucks. It is one of the worst teams in football. The Lions have something to prove. Like they're out here kicking ass and taking names in every single game. They did it against the Cowboys because there was some animosity there. Let me just throw out a little gal brain here for you. What if the Lions are out here like trying to win Goff in MVP? Like, what if they just want to come out here? And I know this is not related to Montgomery, but just as far as like not keeping, just keeping their foot on the gas against these teams. I know the Titans on paper in the data look like they have a strong defense. I am of the opinion that they just have not played anybody respectable, and that's why those numbers look as good as they do. David Montgomery in a positive game script, if he's not banged up in this game like he was last week, is just like such a sneaky smash. And like Gibbs is priced as though like Montgomery's missing this game. I don't understand.
I like this take. I took him in a dog bowl this morning when I was doing my battle royale video. The 2 running backs that just barely missed the cut for my running back gem were Montgomery and James Conner. And I'm with you, Nez. I think there's like, it's the perfect storm of him getting banged up last week. Gibbs goes nuclear. People now prefer the Gibbs side of things coming off that hot game. But like even JM was talking about, like, you want to play Gibbs in the shootout game environments for the Lions where things can get nutty and he speeds up the game. You want to play Montgomery in the Lions positive script games where they're just like it feels like a 2 touchdown David Montgomery week there. So I like that call a lot.
I like that you said Connor because I passed on him for Connor this morning, so it makes me feel a little bit better. as my second running back there. But Tank Bigsby, I would add to the list there as well. He's just looked very good. And then the ETN Q tag. And then Chase Brown, if we can paint like trailing script narrative and maybe even looks better now if T. Higgins misses. I did him there. And then Madison's taken the backfield. And then why don't we flip the narrative here and take Bucky in the 12-mans in the last round?
I think you can, right? I mean, what is the opportunity cost? He's getting undrafted if you're waiting until the 6th round. And I honestly don't mind, like, I know it's kind of gross, but again, this is in the 12-mans. Like, okay, you're going to get, Zach Moss or James Cook or whatever. Like, are you sacrificing that much if you take the flyer on Bucky?
Probably not. No, I mean, he's like clearly the more talented back. It's just like a matter of how the game environment goes, and Bucks could surprise people and, punch the Falcons in the mouth. And then it's just Bucky, 14 for 100 or something. That wouldn't surprise me really at all. Based on the way that we're talking about these running backs, I mean, it sounds like we can really go on for days here. Are you guys, is it even like, how can you do a 1-1-3-1 this week? I mean, it's going to be, it feels like it's going to be so low owned. Just thinking like Galbrain BR stuff here might be sharp to like force yourself to get a 1-1-3-1 in. Cause like, I just can't see how it feels good ever.
Would you guys, would you do the 1-1-3-1 with ADP targets, or would you scroll for the last one? That's the question.
See, I don't even think you need to like scroll, just because it's just so. I just feel like it's going to be so underutilized for good reason. But I feel like there's leverage.
I'll give you one. And I think I did this one this morning. I started Tyreek Amon-Ra. So Amon-Ra falls back to me. And then I did Stroud double with Tank and Schultz. Nice. So getting to those 3 wide receivers. I think to your point, Nez, it's like, let's even use, pre-Q tag, whatever, like Higgins kind of as like a cutoff to where kind of Wild West, that wide receiver, where it's like, if you get 2 of those top end wide receivers, like then you kind of have the correlated piece at the end that maybe it's a thing. Maybe you're doing Jordan Love and Kraft, with Reed, and you tack those guys on. But I think to your point, Nez, if you don't have 2 wide receivers through the first 15 or 16 picks, then getting to the 3 wide receiver feels really thin.
There you go, John. There's your Galbrain challenge. Go 1-1-3-1 and your last 3 picks are wide receivers.
There you go. That'll be
I might have to try it there. I wanted to bring up the other one was Mostert. Everyone's really excited, and Waddle to an extent. Everyone's so excited the Tua's back to play Tyreek and Achane. Waddle goes in the 12 persons, but every time now, I guess. But what about Mostert? Had 11 carries last week, had a bunch of long runs called back on holding penalties, but he looked every bit explosive, and he got the high value goal line touches early in the ball game there, because I was sweating that game with all my stupid ass Dolphins exposure from last week.
Yeah. I think I like the Waddle call, maybe just a smidge more, but the thing is, it's crazy. You look at the splits, with and without Tua, and it's like Waddle's finishes are great. Mostert's finishes are great. Like, how many times last year could you mix and match these guys? Mainly Tyreek with the 2 running backs, but Waddle obviously popped off when Hill was out too. So yeah, I want to attack this spot.
I love it, John. I think you see the Cardinals last week win against the Chargers, and now I think people are giving them a little bit more respect. We think this is going to be a shootout, and it very well could be, and it'd be awesome if it was. I'm still not convinced that the Cardinals are a serious team, and if this ends up being like a bad Cardinals game, Mostert's getting home, like 100%. 100% Mostert's getting home. So I really like that call, and I'm going to start mixing that in more. Like, I got a lot of work to do as far as drafts to do. So I'm really into that. We just haven't seen it yet because it's been a really weird season in general, but really weird season for Miami.
I guess my only thing I'm struggling with Mostert is just Achane, I think, is too cheap. Like if we use
it feels hard. It
feels hard because like Montgomery feels like a really good click relative to Gibbs. Montgomery's pushed way down, Gibbs is pushed way up. Whereas like obviously Mostert's free, but like Achane's really cheap too.
It's crazy.
Whereas like, what do we do? Like we saw, if if Achane had just come off of, a 25-point game with Tua, we'd be taking him at pick 9 or pick 10 on this slate.
Right.
So I felt the entire market just not wanting to ape in to how we've approached these Dolphins players with Tua. I mean, Tyreek would have been 101 on this slate, and it wouldn't have even been close if we had multiple games with. I've been taking Tyreek 101 in the Dawg Bowl. I mix it up in the BRs, but I'm like, man, I just like the running back stuff later way better.
It's a sharp move. It's a really sharp move. I mean, his range of like where he's selected relative to draft capital is easily, I guess standard deviation is the word I'm looking for, is just like the largest out of every pick on the board. I've seen him go 101, like you said, seen him go 109, and I'm the most envious person ever when that happens because I'm usually at 110. It's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, Tua's playing. He is playing. What are we doing?
Any concern about the foot stuff popped up on the injury report yesterday, LP?
I had just searched because I actually wanted to check on the Waddle stuff, and I found a McDaniel quote that said he expects both of them to play. So I'm just kind of proceeding as if we're good as of right now. And if anything, cheaper those guys sounds nice too. If it doesn't keep if it keeps Tyreek from not getting steamed, I'm down.
Cool. Let's rapid fire the onesies real quick here. I think we kind of are all in agreement that there's some good scrolls at the quarterback position, just in general there. Speaking of Miami stuff, everyone's doing the Miami stuff, but nobody's really pairing it with Tua. Tua's ceiling, even on those games where those auxiliary pieces pop off, has never kind of been massive, let's say. But what names are you guys going to here? Because ETR loves Bo Nix, and that's kind of sticking out like a sore thumb in the Dawg Bowl stuff.
Yeah,
I like it too.
I like Nix a lot. I mean, JM just got me really hyped on Jameis. I've been actually surprised, more so I guess on DK, but that there hasn't been more enthusiasm for Jameis here. Everyone likes Jameis. Everyone knows he has a fantasy-friendly game. Everyone's coming around. Everyone loves Njoku. People now really like Tillman. I think you could just skinny stack, Jameis. You could double stack him, I guess, with Tillman. But I've actually been surprised that more people aren't excited about this negative game script with Winston.
Yeah, it sets up so nice for him, right? I mean, the Ravens look like a wagon because they are. And if they're able to, score at will, which they should, then Jameis Winston against a pass funnel where in a negative game script, I mean, this is what dreams are made of, guys. Like this is awesome. I think for me, I would stick with Njoku for Jameis. I mean, you're going to get leverage in the BR streets if you pair him with Judy or Tillman. Like they're not drafted a lot. I think the enthusiasm, like every time I open my timeline, there's something about Cedric Tillman route tree, Cedric Tillman, usage. So yeah. The steam is there, but maybe not on our site. But like, it's getting to a dangerous point. Regardless, really like the Jameis call as a scroll.
Are there two players? I was about to say, are there two players on the site that could break a slate faster than Anthony Richardson and Jaden Daniels playing that are down here?
They could also break your slate.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely they could.
Well,
I don't know. I haven't really collected them much, but just curious.
I do think so. The one thing, so a few thoughts on that, because we were talking about how it's a good week to do naked quarterback. I mentioned how that's something I want to prioritize a little bit more. One thing that generally will keep me off of it, specifically with Q tag stuff, is like I want to be swapping to get my stacks and stuff. So I'd rather just complete my stack. The Daniels A-Rich thing is a pretty interesting one too, right? Because if you're already building out a naked quarterback team, you take Daniels. Great. I have Daniels naked. What's your swap? If Daniels doesn't go, you swap in Richardson. So you're not sacrificing a correlated angle on that kind of team. And you just gave me that idea. But as you talk that out, I kind of like that.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I'm not doing Richardson because I don't think this is the spot for it. I think the Texans are a very, very strong defense, and Richardson just stats, eyes, looks awful. So I'm going to wait for like better leverage. I mean, this is really good leverage, but I'm going to wait for a better spot. For me, like I'm willing to do Trevor Lawrence. I'm a believer in this team kind of figuring things out. I just think there's too much talent on that team for them to not have success. I've been on record as a Packers D respecter, but I think that they're coming around, and like everybody thinks that they're trash, and they probably are trash, but I think they're gonna be playing from behind. And for me, like Trevor Lawrence, Christian Kirk, very interesting because I think no one's gonna really be taking Trevor Lawrence, but I think Brian Thomas is going to be drafted, I think close to every time in the main BR.
Yeah.
So you can get some really strong leverage on what if it's a Christian Kirk game. You can even double it with Evan Ingram and do it that way instead. Like everybody is out on the Jags, literally everybody. So it's just a thought, man. Like we've seen him and Christian Kirk connect for 2 touchdowns and before. I'm willing to take a shot on it here. I just think the leverage is really, really strong.
I like it.
Yo, last one I would throw out there. There's a team last week that gave up almost 40 points, real life points, to an inept Broncos team, and there's a passer going against them that threw for almost 400 yards last week in Justin Herbert going against the Saints.
Yeah. So I will say a little sliver of the Chargers passing game makes my Deposit Kingdom video. But yeah, I like same with the Bo Nix, right? Like, and granted the ETR Steam is liking that, but I think Bo Nix and the 6-mans is still going to be completely untouched for the most part. People want to play those big home fave spots through the running backs. It's way comfier to play it through Dobbins and Javonte, but I never want to be overconfident of how do they get those points? How did they get the points before they start running the ball in the third and fourth quarter? So I like dabbling there. I was hoping we would get Disley as a strong tight end option after how good he looked on Monday night. I believe Hayden Hurst returned to practice, which kind of pours a little cold water on Disley getting to run all the snaps, but I like the angle, John.
Yeah, to counter with that, Disley's missed practices this week too.
Oh, really?
Like this weird like flipping pendulum there. Anyone at the tight end position before I just start screaming Taysom Hill from the rafters?
This is, it's not a scroll down thing. I mean, Bowers is going to be a major priority for me this week. I'm going to be taking him ahead of ADP. Not a scroll down guy, but Ingram looks really, really strong to me. I guess he's kind of fringe scroll down. I think he'll end up maybe like 40, 50% drafted, but not quite 100%. But yeah, the other than that, just some kind of correlated angles. So yeah, give the Taysom spiel here.
Well, you got a running back who has dealt with broken ribs and apparently is playing through a broken hand as well there. They switched up to run the most 11 personnel in which they've done all year, the last 2 games, and it hasn't really worked. So I think they're going to be in a favorable spot to come back to some of that 2 tight end, 12 personnel stuff there. And then you also got both Foster Moreau and Juwan Johnson dealing with a little bit of stuff that popped up on the injury report. So I don't know. I just give me 6 carries at tight end and see what happens.
I can't hate it. I mean, it's having your cake and eat it too, as Pete likes to say, but I like to say it too with Taysom because it's the truth. I mean, with tight end, so often it doesn't matter. What if you get the guy that runs for two scores and also can play a little quarterback in the right situation too? I mean, why not? But for me, it's whoa. Okay, sorry. It's been a minute since I've looked at tight ends, and Kate Otten, tight end 5 now. Finally.
Yeah.
What the hell took so long? Are we serious? He was in the 6th round of dog bowls all week. It made no sense. Now he's tight end 5. I'm so happy for the glow up.
People, well, I even suffer from Cade Otten cognitive dissonance disorder, where it's he has these just 2 poles to his game where it's he's out there running heading into the season, our best ball, chatter about him was he's on the field every snap. Good. Doesn't ever earn any targets. Bad. But then that was like his season long stuff. He actually popped up in the playoffs with some really big games. I know he had that monster game against the Lions. And now, at the beginning of the season, it was here's cardio king Cade Otton again. And now of late, obviously with the injuries, but even before that, like just turning into this target monster again. So I don't know. You never know which Cade Otton you're going to get, but he's a strong play. I think in the dog bowls, I'm pretty skeptical of his ADP in these BRs. I'd rather scroll past him in the sixes.
It's officially at the point where like you almost never want 100% draft the tight end, right? I think that's especially one that's Cade Otton, even though I mean the volume should totally be there, but I think this is where you got to scroll. And I guess if I'm talking scrolls here, I've been talking about the Green Bay Jacksonville game quite a bit. Definitely into Kraft at that price, but I'm just going to pivot to the other side. And I mean, Kyle Pitts, man, I mean, you don't have to do him in a pick 'em. You don't have to, but against this Tampa Bay team, that is just very vulnerable against the pass. Kyle Pitts looking better. Maybe he's getting healthier. Maybe they're utilizing him more. Like whatever it is, something's working there. And I'm bought in. I think that he just makes a lot of sense for a scroll at tight end. I think he has provided after that 0 that he put up, shout out Chris G. I mean, I don't think I'll ever forget that. After that 0, it's been pretty solid, like a very solid
Chris G. The shout out equivalent of rubbing your face in the shit. Shout out Chris G. Remember that?
That's my guy. I can do that.
Any love for the Laporta scroll this week without Jameson Williams? I mean, Jameson Williams only had, I think, 17 or 18 targets on the season, but maybe a little bit of that shorter A-dot, sweepy, whatever bullshit that you could find his way now.
Man,
makes sense.
I honestly hadn't even considered that, the JMO angle and what that could mean. I guess in my head, I was just like, JMO stuff just gets vacated by the Tim Patrick, Khalif Raymond stuff, and Laporta keeps doing jack shit. But I honestly, I don't mind that angle. One of Montgomery or Laporta scoring 2 touchdowns this week is now what's kind of just crystallized in my head.
Respect it.
All right. Deposit Kingdom contest is live. John, you want to hop us in one here?
Yeah, I got you. I think I've discovered what the problem is, Pete, and I think we're going to have to change the StreamYard lobby for next week for my sake, but then we'll be good.
Terms
of this off kilter, lagging again kind of thing.
Yeah, we can discuss and we'll get that figured out.
I know we're about to hop into a contest. My one last shout for scroll down tight ends is Dalton Kincaid. I don't know if you guys have heard. He's been declared a screaming buy by Chess Liam. I'm not gonna lie. I think he's onto something here. You are seeing increased encouraging usage from Kincaid this season. I like the matchup against Seattle. And like I said, I'm really excited to see Amari Cooper this offense moving forward with Amari Cooper. I really do think that it changes the way defenses play them, and I think that it really will open up more opportunities for Kincaid. So I'm a believer, but had to get that one out there.
I like it. Man, in some of the Allen, I was doing a few drafts this morning and I woke up in one of them and I got Josh Allen with the very last pick in the draft. There's still no enthusiasm for Josh Allen. And so when you consider either people don't want Josh Allen or they only want to stack him with Amari Cooper, I think finding other ways to play him makes sense. And in that game, I think on the surface, it doesn't look as good as it could be. JM had some enthusiasm for that game. Nice. Thorman had it written up as a pace up spot. So Buffalo, Seattle could be fun.
Makes me feel good.
And no Dawson Knox.
Interesting.
All right, we are on the clock here. No Tyreek Hill at 5. I'm happy to grab the Barkley share here. What do you guys think?
Yep, I like it, John. What are you trying to do? I see you're going everywhere but Saquon.
No, I'm good with it. I like
You're taking
it.
the
I think you
scenic
can
route
make a
to
case for
Saquon.
Saquon.
John can't even can't even wait until the second round to scroll down.
That's great. Yeah, this game could be fun, man. This Philly Cincy game. I haven't seen the spread or total on it yet, but I think if Cincy can air it out successfully, this should be a very fun one. All right.
Yeah.
What are you
So
guys'
I like
thoughts on
London.
Drake London this week?
Hello. There we go.
I kind of don't like him.
Okay. Do you want to go Mixon?
I would be fine with Mixon, or I'm also fine grabbing Bowers here. If
All right, let's
John
do it.
wants to indulge some scroll down, that's where I want to pair Bowers with a lot of these round one guys that won't otherwise happen if you just wait to select Bowers at ADP, basically.
Do you
Yeah, I
think I'm being
that's a
too
really sharp point.
Do you think I'm being too middle IQ with Bowers that like I just think Kansas City against this current Raiders team, like you just need to throw out how good he's been, throw out the target competition, the projections. Like, can he actually have success in this current iteration of the Raiders against Kansas City? I'm skeptical.
I mean, Kansas City's the 1-0-1 matchup for opposing tight ends.
Yeah, but what about everything else?
Like, I mean, the thing about Bowers, and Jam made this point too, Bowers has been so good without scoring a touchdown. You know, like if he has some touchdown regression that catch up with his usage, like the nuclear game is possible, and he's already giving you a floor that matches the ceiling of a lot of our scroll down tight ends. You know, like so yeah, I guess I'm not gonna overthink the matchup stuff just because he's just a lock for double digit targets.
Yeah, I think maybe it's more of like a dog bowl thing where I'm like, I just don't want to invest that much capital into like nice. You get like the sexiest 12 points ever from Brock Bowers when like I can get like 8 in the 6th round in dog bowls.
I think the opportunity cost in the dog bowls is much, much higher. Mm-hmm. Whereas I think it's like non-existent in
100%
in the 6-mans.
100%. Yeah.
I'm with you. I haven't been on the spot of the board even where I've been able to get a Bowers, but yeah, I don't think I've done like 6 or 7 dog bowls. I don't have a Bowers yet there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What do we see here? Do we need to get a wide receiver?
I've been Diggs here mostly, but we can. I like Achane too. Like I'm cool to get
Diggs. Dell in the small field is fun.
Yeah.
For a double.
Depends on when this information gets to John. Okay.
No, so my issue right now is because we're recording this and it saves as I go. Yep. I have the hard drive that I have this whatever we're doing StreamYard affiliated with is like a small SSD that I have all my poker sims on. So there's like very limited room. So I keep deleting sims to keep this stream going.
You're not allowed to say that word, John. Remember?
I know the S word. Fuck. Oh no.
Yeah, John, I looked in the settings, so I know what you're talking about with the local recordings. It does say recording settings are disabled while live, but I will remember next week to uncheck that to try to help us out.
Thank you.
Poker sims, give me a break.
Yeah, you gotta clear out the poker sims to make room for the BR sims that are in your head, John.
Yeah, that's why they stay in my head. I just went ahead and took Tank Dell there. Two things just happened in this room that I wouldn't have let happen on my own accord. Was like I've been pushing Barkley here because I want like one of these upper echelon wide receivers, and I didn't want to be left with like the Saquon Mixon decision. But I do really like the Bowers stuff on the right hand side of the board. So I think I would have done like elite wide receiver plus Bowers, and then I'm not as huge on Diggs this week. I'd rather just skinny stack the Tank stuff. But yeah, that's just kind of how I've been doing it. But double stacking this field it makes a lot of sense.
And I'm the exact same way, John. I'm going to have like sub 3%. I will have Mixon, Gibbs, Njoku week 7 levels of exposure to Stephon Diggs this week. But then I do like where I'm like, okay, I like this angle. I like the Texans passing game. Where are the formats where I can get my exposure to that? In this contest, I'm like, okay, I'm going to have a lot of either skinnies or doubles with Schultz. All right, in this contest, let me get a Diggs tank a little more premium. So I do like playing the contest to like get your exposures in the right spots.
Yeah, I mean, easy enough. You can just throw them in the queue there. Man, we got a lot of fun picks here. What about Javonte? You just want to get him up there?
I like JT too. Either of those are good.
You're not a Javonte guy this week, John?
I don't mind it. Like, I understand they're big home favorites against the worst defense in football. I just give me the talent of JT with the best offensive line in football or second best offensive line in football and play the game environment fully if we're just going to ape in.
That's respectable.
Yeah.
I think that they're definitely, same tier this week. Yeah, and can't fault you for leaning or for opting for talent.
I say this every week where I'm like, I'm not going to force the bringbacks or whatever, but that one does make so much sense to me. We know the Texans have to get pushed. Mixon is going to shove it down our throats unless the Texans are in a negative game script. Obviously they could get there with A-Rich other ways, but that one does make sense to me of like, no. They have to be in a deficit to get there.
Yeah. 100%.
For the audio listeners, maybe my robotic accolade shouldn't be the one to do this, but CJ Stroud, Saquon Barkley, Jonathan Taylor, Diggs, Dell, Bowers as our first Deposit Kingdom entry of the week.
Yeah, I like it. We get, Tank and Javonte, I would call them like semi-scrolls. Probably I would qualify them as scrolls in the smaller contests too, like not going to have probably the ownership is in the larger. We do a little unique pairing at the top with Bowers. You probably won't see a lot of Bowers Barkley teams in that contest. And then, build out a double stack where we want to kind of lean into that correlation there. So I think that's a very strong small field lineup there for us. And, what do we got? Do we have the Badge Bros live?
I was looking for it. By the looks of it, not yet. So
okay.
I think we're safe to go into the Dog Bowl segment.
Yeah, let's do it. We have week 8 of the Dog Bowl. We were talking about like the fill rate for contests at the top. I feel like the Dog Bowl is the one that's kind of immune, or is it slightly below what it was at last week at this time?
I think it's slightly below last week, but not slightly below historical. And I think it's just because last week was just such a heavy draw for so many people. Like everyone loved the slate last week. So I think that really helped it.
Yeah. We lost you, Pete, on.
I don't know why I'm in if people want to join me in the overflow, we need 3 more. I'll join you guys in the overflow. I can share my screen and we can double toggle back between a couple here.
Nice. I got the 1-6. John's at the 1-2. Crash Rich 101. What else is new? Blake, shout out Blake 110. EDN at 111. Sean. I never know how to say Sean's last name, but always hanging out at the 112. And Sam Dylan Hawk in there as well. And Chad. Sorry. Just want to make sure I cover everybody.
This is actually kind of an intentional move might be these days where it's like, let's I don't want to battle against you guys. Let me already the people who are stuck in the overflow have shown they're not as you already got sniped on it.
You and the robot man are just in sync right now.
Fill this overflow, you punks. We need 2 more left. It's going to be on stream. I know you all want to be in the first one because it's on stream. Guess what? The second one's going to be on stream too. I'm going to go like this. In 2 seconds, it'll be on stream. So fill it.
That was a good sell, Pete. It just filled. I helped you out with that. That was a really good sell.
Because I'm like, what is the logic of I want to be in a stream draft, but only the first of the stream draft, the 1A of the stream drafts?
You're sloppy seconds, man. Sorry, I joined because I needed to get some volume in. So this
Thank you, Des.
Yeah. I'll dabble.
Ooh. Yo, speaking of sloppy seconds, nice segue to the slop it up fest of the week is Colts Texans for sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Like
That's like
without a
borderline.
doubt.
That's borderline. I'll allow it. But like, you can get sloppier. But I'll allow it.
I mean, in terms of like team totals and stuff, it's only in that 45 region. So it's like, it's borderline. You're
45
right.
is like 2024's 50, but
That's true.
No, I mean, I'll allow it. Stroud didn't throw for like more than what was it, like 80 yards last week. Richardson, people are ready to, send him to the CFL. So like, I think it qualifies as a slop it up.
All right.
There you go. You're safe.
The backup one, the break glass in case of emergency one, was going to be playing Chargers and New Orleans, but through the air or like through a speed up tempo game instead of just doing the Dobbins stuff that everybody's doing.
Yeah, I like that.
All right, I'm on the clock in Pete's room. I gotta balance these things. I'm gonna go.
I promised it would be on stream here. So Nez goes Brees. Tyreek falls to 2 in this one.
Falls to 2.
And Barkley will go to EDN here at 6. And then you guys, so Nez, you're in the middle of the board on both of these, and then John's in the front of the board, and I'm on the back.
I'm gonna be juggling these. Wow. I just saw Blake going Bowers at pick 10. So other people don't mind. I haven't checked out ETR yet this week, so I don't know if he's like exploding over there in the projections or not.
They have him. What rank do they have him at?
I'm assuming 1, but
I'd close that tab. I can pull it up.
Guys, I'm going to try something real quick.
Okay.
Let me get. Oh, I am on the clock, so this works out well.
Beautiful.
You know what? I think this is another one. I'm not going to have a ton of Walker in the 6-mans, I don't think, but so I'm going to grab a dog bull share here.
You know what I've been doing in like this last part of the draft board is and it could be bad, but I think it's interesting, is doing Allen with Amari, because in dog bulls they do not line up ADP wise, and they're very hard to stack, and nobody really seems to like that end of the board anyways. So that's just something that I've been doing just because I'm very into that game, obviously, and I don't see it stacked so much.
I said I hadn't had a chance to take Bowers yet. I'll do pick 15. Dog bull Bowers.
I mean, it's not pretty when you get to wide receiver at your next pick, but it is flat. So, you can definitely do a lot with that.
Yeah. Why little Walker in the 6-man? Because when I just look at the 2v2s, I really want the elite wide receivers in Bowers in that range. That's kind of really how I prefer to play, the 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 slots. And so I'm often not prioritizing Walker, and I just like the arbitrage running backs, even the Javantes, the J.K. Dobbins. Obviously Walker has a much better role than those guys, but I just I think there's a pretty big opportunity cost in that range where he's going.
Yeah, it's like just a classic, I guess, like 2v2 of players you can get there, like the teams that you can build when you're not doing Walker in that spot. So to me that makes sense.
Yeah, and maybe I'll soften on it. Like I'm not going to be at like, I don't want to probably be at like Gibbs level, like where I was last week, where it's like 2 to 3%. But I definitely am going to have a fade position there.
Obviously, you like anybody that was light on Gibbs regrets not having more. But like, do you feel like you played that incorrectly, or do you feel fine the way that you played it?
No, I feel fine. And that's what I kind of expand on in the Deposit Kingdom video. Like there's certain things that I beat myself up on, like the first mix-in week back, where I'm like, that was such a bad process not being on that more. And I was really mad at myself. But like the Gibbs, Njoku, mix in stuff from last week, I didn't beat myself up on, because that's like structurally part of my strategy of kind of like avoiding those plays in that range. And when, you can probably survive a lot of weeks where one of those guys hit. But when all three hit, and then it's also like the lowest wide receiver scoring week of all time, it's like I'm just gonna lose that week, and I got to be okay with that.
Yeah. I felt fine with it too, but yeah, I just thinking back to something I said, a couple shows ago, or however, and at some point this season, just like New Gibbs had these games in his bag. It was just a matter of when they were coming. Usually, you don't expect it to be in this game, but yeah, it's I'm telling myself that it was okay the way I played it.
All right, Roto Run is back, and OTC. He's scrolling. Yeah.
I just got auto picked T Higgins, which now we just have to hope and pray is a combinatorial ownership thing that he hasn't fallen back to the left side of the board at any other point this week, because I just deleted like a whole bunch of shit, and then when I went to make my pick there, it was like, please log into your account. So by the time I logged in, the pick was already gone. So we're gonna have to make a Burrow double here and hope that T Higgins plays some football.
I don't know. I think Higgins is gonna be fine, right? Like, is it really serious?
You just never like it. You never like to see the late queue, but this is such like a bro science thing. But like quad over hammy feels fine. Right? Like,
yeah,
the hammy, like, dude, that's not good. But like quad, like, suck it up, brother. Like,
you're falling back on some Slippery Rock University knowledge on that one, eh, Nez?
Hey, who let the person who has the kinesiology major throw the first stone? Shall we? All right, I'm on the clock on screen right now. AJ Brown, DJ Moore, yeah, I can't believe Javonte Williams is available right here. That to me is unbelievable. No Deontay Johnson, no Andy Dalton. Like, they have nobody on offense. They can't do shit, and the Broncos are already stud defense. How they're gonna just they're gonna have like 99% time of possession. It's insane.
Yeah. I'm with you on that one. I'm on the clock. I'm going to do the same thing as John. I've already drafted the rest of this team in my head. I know I'm going to be able to do it because no one are going to take the rest of the picks I'm about to make. But yeah, so did Walker, Bowers, JT, and like when you get completely shut out at wide receiver here. I mean, Tank Dell goes at the 2-3 turn. Reed's gone. Adams gone. That is the playing with fire when you start with a running back tight end in these dog bowls this week.
It's going to be unique.
Nez, let's guess how Pete's going to land this plane.
Yeah, I'll give you three guesses. I need a quarterback and 2 wide receivers.
I'm thinking this is the Jameis double.
Okay. I think he's going to do a Bo Nix.
John is closer. I think I'm going to do a Jameis single, and I'm going to grab Zay Flowers here as part of that game.
It's a good pick.
Don't snipe me on that one. I swear to God, if this is the one time.
He's one of those like double, not leverage, but one catch on prime time because he got banged up, missed practice all week, but now he's back at practice. That's definitely a nice spot where, I mean, he probably wouldn't be like, if he did have a good game, like maybe second round, but that's still on a slate where wide receiver talent is, few and far between. That's a nice pick.
Yeah, back-to-back 100-yard games before the primetime one there, and then he came back into the ball game after it looked like he's lying on his back and his ankle's in the air, and it was like, oh no, another one, and then he comes back in the ball game, and it's like, we treated him all week as if like, he didn't come back into the ball game.
Yeah, it's a good point. Oof. All right, I'm on the clock on the non, or is this the Pete draft?
Yeah, you're in the Pete draft. You're on the clock.
Oh yeah, you're on the clock in the Pete draft.
Dude, this is tough. Like, I have so much Jalen Waddle in these drafts. I'm just going to keep doing it. I just don't think that we care enough that Jalen Waddle with Tua back is facing the Arizona Cardinals. Sure.
Have you done any? So Kraft off the. Oh, sorry, Love and Kraft were already off the board. I already missed that because I was like, oh, would you do something with Reed and building out Packers? But that's already been sniped.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I'm back up. Sorry. Let me think through this one here.
Here we go. Now he's back on this one.
Jalen Waddle.
Jalen Waddle just saved you in both spots.
He's gone. All right. Is Caleb? Okay. All right. Please don't snipe me here. I'm gonna try to set up a Caleb double. Hopefully, it can make it back.
This is how you know we're getting cocky as streamers. We're just literally, this is exactly what we're gonna do, and we're just begging people to not snipe us instead of the goodness of their heart.
That's true. That's a serious hubris by announcing to the audience, like, here's what I'm doing.
No, the magic trick is we try to make the telegraph play so gross that no one would even voluntarily want to snipe it.
There you go.
John sweating a Burrow snipe there would have been real funny. Whoever was just in front of John, that would have been good comedy right there.
You have the Burrow.
I'm gonna take it because if Crash Rich is auto drafting and he's liable to just be a Burrow sniper, but there is something intriguing about the Devonta Smith and then pushing it around the corner.
He's gonna try it.
Oh,
You're a coward.
When John says the Sims made him do that, no, literally the poker sim slowed down his computer and he wasn't able to get Devontae up there fast enough.
It's so bad, man. Oh.
So Nez, you got Tua on the way back, stacked with Waddle. Thought on. Did you think a non-Tyreek drafter would still maybe do Tua?
I just feel like the options at tight end every time I'm in the 6th round have been good to me. They have felt pretty solid to me. And I didn't really want to have to think through a potential stacking option if I didn't, because like Jordan Love, I have Jaden Reed, Jordan Love was gone. So I just like wanted to get that stack in, and then I'll figure it out at tight end. Let's see, the Tyreek Hill drafter, took Kyler. So I had no concerns about being sniped there. It was just like, let me just lock up the stack because I'll hate this team if I don't get it.
Is Devonta Smith? Oh no, you do your thing here, Pete, and then I'll ask you.
Yeah,
guys.
I just got to make sure these guys behind me. I don't think crutches. I swear to God, with this asshole thing, I'll take Tillman here.
You don't
do it, crutches. Judy Winston.
Oh, if there's one thing I can count on for crutches, it's staying in his own lane. And crutches is the exact kind of person who would never torch $25 for content bid equity. He's above that.
Actually, shout out to Crutches finally becoming a member. Shout out to Crutches. There we go.
I got his money up. You'll love to see it.
Watch it. No, now he's like, no, maybe I will. Whatever. I'll just take Bo Nix. I'm pushing the plane. I don't care what you do. Boom.
Pushing the plane.
I still get just like a very small dopamine rush anytime I push the plane, where I'm like, I'm fine with either of these options. I'm pushing the plane, and it's so self-satisfied.
It's just so nice getting those few extra seconds of your time back.
Yeah,
Crutches, do the Herbert thing.
He slow rolled the Bo Nix pick for people wondering at home. There you go.
Oh, for sure he did. He was calling other people ETR slappies for the Bo Nix, and yesterday on stream he takes Bo Nix. Today on stream he takes Bo Nix. He loves it.
You gotta love it, man. He's like, what'd you call him? Like young Taysom?
Young Taysom.
Basically is.
Young Tebow.
Yeah. Oh man. Now I'm like on the like look at the I don't know if you can find the draft where I'm up, but like Kyle Pitts, Kincaid, Hunter Henry with Drake May, John's boy Taysom.
Shh.
It's great. Did Goddard practice? No, he missed practice.
Yeah, I think we're getting another Calcaterra week.
Yeah,
and by that I mean 3 catches for 4 yards.
Yeah, it's just gonna be Pitts. I don't think May is buried. Do you guys think that like Saleh was like a really big part of the Jets defensive success? And because him not being there, I mean, small sample, but like they have not looked good. I mean, got cooked by Russ. And May back-to-back 20-point games. One of them was against the Houston Texans. Completely undrafted in dog bowls. I mean, I'm into it, man.
Greg Day has
I'm
already
really into
won.
it.
What, Dave?
Yeah.
A dog bowl seat.
Yeah. Why not? Why not me too?
Why not Nez?
Many are asking. Do I set up the? These picks have just been like back to back for me. I think a Caleb triple is probably like OD, not necessary, especially when Tucker Kraft is like looking at me.
I messed up when I was doing a cardio club dog bowl. I think it was yesterday, and I ended up with a CJ Stroud triple with Mixon, Dell, and Diggs, and I was like, this feels like too much, but whatever, we're committed. It was one of those where I had taken Mixon in the first round, and then I took Dell, and I just completely
oh no
out. And I was like, oh no, or sorry, I took Diggs. And then I was like, oh, Dell's here. Let's do that too.
Yeah, I've done that. You're just in the flow state. And you're like, I love everything in this offense. And yeah, you never know. You never know.
I noticed you two guys had some success, obviously, in the hoop streets, which means you guys have been winning as of recent memory on the platform. So you guys haven't subscribed to the new meta of everyone changing their Avies?
I've noticed that.
I changed my Abbeys when I got my my headband earlier this season. I did a little slight tweak there from the Dachshund up to the Rottweiler.
Yeah.
So apparently I was ahead of the trend, if that's the meta now.
There you go. Yeah, no, it was a big movement this week that everyone was switching up for the sport. It was hoop season. Everybody switched up their Avies.
Sam Olsen switched it up. I mean, Sam switches it up. That's how you know.
The GOAT's a trend setter, man.
All right. 12-person drafts in the books. I think it's time to spice it up. John, does it help if you're not doing the screen share? Does it open up some bandwidth for you there?
It doesn't matter at all. It's literally just like the computer's fine. It's literally just like a hard drive storing thing. But if you want to run point, by all means. Can we recap those teams though for the audio listeners?
My bad.
Oh, well.
Shit. I think I lost my the draft board.
I know it, and I don't even know if these sort in chronological order.
Ooh, breaking news for both Pete and I coming across right now. Jonathan Taylor will play football according to the Dawg app. So
not even on the injury report.
Love it.
There you go. I will, I've been a little tight-lipped. I try not to stumble over my Deposit Kingdom video too much, but more on Jonathan Taylor over there. Sorry, John.
Stay tuned.
You always get upset when your specials are the Deposit Kingdom video.
I think I got 3 specials in the Deposit Kingdom this week.
Yeah. Either everyone there's 2 ways it plays out. Either everyone can guess them, or I'm told the plays are too thin. There's no in between. It's like if I can't guess them, then it's too thin. It's too thin. So now I'm balancing my rage with some you can guess and some that are too thin.
I like it.
That's how you know you're having success, Pete. Whenever people are starting to nitpick. Okay, sorry.
Okay, so I did a Jameis Winston to Cedric Tillman stack here. I'm gonna guess most Jameis Winston's gonna be with Njoku, so kind of like that there. Kenneth Walker, JT at running backs. Zay Flowers is part of a little mini there, and then Brock Bowers at tight end. What did you do, Nez?
I found one of my teams. It was a Caleb Williams double, so Caleb with DJ Moore and Roma Dunze. Javonte Williams is my lone running back, AJ Brown one-off, and then Tucker Kraft at tight end. I like all those plays quite a bit. I mean, it's a deep slate, but there's a lot of shallowness toward the end of drafts. I'm a big fan of how that draft wound up. I can't remember which team I just finished up with. So John, go ahead.
Yeah, get ready for the min cash of the century here. Full game environment play with Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase. with the Devonta Smith bring back, and then Jonathan Taylor as the lone running back, and then our boy Taysom Hill falling into the end zone twice in the 6th round.
What do you mean min cash, or do you mean dog bowl min cash, like 4th place? Because I feel like that's either T10 or B10.
Yeah, it was dog bowl min cash, aka T10.
Yeah. Nez, did you have your second double dip?
Well, I can't remember exactly.
You had 2 Waddles and 2 Javonte Williams, right?
Yeah, I know. So it's like really throwing me off.
No, you didn't get Waddle in the second one.
Oh, you're
Waddle
saying you
went on the
drafted
other
this team
side.
so many times you can't pluck it out from the list of them.
Pete, I have so many Tua, Javonte, Waddle teams. Oh, I think it was this one. Here we go. Tua with Breece Hall, Javonte Williams, Jaden Reed, Jalen Waddle, and Kyle Pitts. Just a clean 1-2-2-1. Play the best plays, win a seat. Easy enough. I gotta win this too because Kobe's. This is such like a backhanded comment in here. Said Nez, there's always next year.
What?
Wrote me off. Everybody's coming for me this week.
Tell him you didn't write back. Tell him you didn't write back, Nez.
Oh, we're not.
Apparently, someone wasn't in the crossover the other night to see that.
Okay.
All right. I'm laughing every time I log in to my champions, my pick'ems here. I feel like the boosts for MLB and NBA just keep getting bigger. They're just like, okay, he didn't bite on the 40. Let's see what he does with 50. All right, let's toss him a 60. Surely he'll do a 60. Well, guess what? I'm holding out for a 100% boost.
Need it.
All right. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, pour one out for the behind the paywall community yesterday. We got a 3xer a 6xer 3 plays that we then boosted with the Boostober stuff by 50%, and we lost on the 0.5 hook on a couple bricked free throws. It was a gross one.
No.
And there was a generational wealth opportunity one yesterday for the Puka Nacua touchdown. He was getting the same price as Ty Chandler, and then every other player on the Rams scores a receiving touchdown other than Puka Nacua.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out Tyler here, gifting the Badge Bros membership. Whether you guys are watching on my channel or the Badge Bros, make sure you guys are subscribed to both of those. Will the person who just got the gifted Badge Bros membership, will they be able to tune in for a no strip stream tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern?
That is like heavily TBD. I've got a lot of unpacking to do. So we're TBD. I would love to. If I can figure out the setup in the new crib, we will do it. Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
All right. It's become a little, I look forward to that every Friday night. So
yeah.
I hope you do that. I know I'm not alone. Tyler, I appreciate you gifting one to me. I'm going to be having on Saturday After Dark, Mike Zakarian from Team Hold. You guys have done some hoop stuff with him. Figured now that I'm a hoops guy, he'd be a good guest to have on. We'll do a little crossover talk. We'll build some lineups, draft some teams. We can talk a little content. Mike and I go way back from our improv days. So if you guys want to hear us reminisce about that, you can tune into After Dark. I'm gonna go pee real quick. I've been pounding water all day. You guys get us slated here as we start to build out a core, an expanded core, and maybe an alt version of the expanded core.
All right, love it.
Nez, what are you thinking core stuff this week?
I mean, I wanted to do some Kareem stuff, but it seems like you're not on the Kareem Hunt bandwagon with me. So I kind of lost my mojo. I don't have the enthusiasm for Kareem Hunt after you kind of called him
I don't
merchant,
mind
which is true, but
everybody else likes it. I called him the poor man's Kyron Williams, where it's just 3 yards in a cloud of dust. He's pure volume merchant. The offense is sputtering all the time, but he still finds his way home somehow. I think Mahomes has been. Yeah, I know, right? Like they literally took him off his couch and they were like, "Hey, by the way, just be Kareem Hunt this year and run the entire offense through you." It's crazy, man. Yeah.
I have a play. Honestly, like John, I love this play so much that like I want to like give it last. I don't even want to because it's gonna get grayed out if I say it too soon. So
Okay.
Wow. Okay. So
not to say you guys don't have equally as sharp plays. I have to go last.
Well, I think it's safe to say that I don't have equally as sharp a play. I liked the Rashad White 3.5 receptions for the 1-1-3 spice. That was my original core one. If you guys don't want to use it now that we're getting the Bucky in, maybe it's better utilized as a game environment play. But that was just one that I was looking at this week.
I don't hate it, right? Because the odds of them being, dominating this game where Rashad's not on the field and third down just feels really thin. So
Right.
I think at worst it's a close game where he's still using some passing stuff, and in most scenarios it's a trailing script where he's on the field a good bit.
Okay, how about I crowdsource, because I actually did some homework this week and I actually assembled a list before the show. So what do you guys think? That I had that one, I had Tank Dell receiving, I had Bo Nix rushing, both attempts and yards. I like them both, and then I liked the Ken Walker passing stuff.
I'm laughing, John, and I'll give a spoiler because it's not a huge spoiler, but for my Deposit Kingdom, you know how I do the pick'em slip based on some. So I will show you what this one is. Kyle Pitts higher 41.5 receiving yards. Bo Nix higher 26.5 rushing yards. Tank Dell higher 55.5 receiving yards. So we got a fucking mind melt going today.
That's hilarious.
That's good.
But yeah, I obviously in on those. So chat, let us know which of that menu of options John just provided that you guys like.
Well, let's say, because you utilize those ones in that one and everybody's going to play that pick 'em as well. Why don't we take a look at the Ken Walker one then?
Okay.
And then we can
one specifically you said?
The receiving stuff.
Yes. 3.5 receptions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. He's been very heavily utilized in the receiving game. Not quite as much last week, but because he housed one of them too. So that helps.
Not his birthday either. So
true. 2 3.5s here for receiving. Nez, are you going to bring the hammer play in for the core?
So we're keeping Rashad White.
Sorry, are we removing Rashad, John?
I thought that was a pivot. I want to make sure I'm following along correctly, because I'm telling you guys. As soon as we announce this last pick, you're going to want to lock it in.
All right. So one sec. So if we remove the Rashad, because John and I were both, Nez, do you like the Knicks rushing yard? That's one of my favorites.
What's that number?
26.
26. Yeah.
It's gone up. It's gone up. I got it at 26. Yeah. 30.5.
Oh, 27.5. Can't do. No. It's
I mean, he's been at 61 and 75. I guess that it's just they're dominating so much, but man, he's been scrambling and designed run stuff at a pretty good clip.
I know that is like the one concern, is that are they dominating so much that why would he ever run?
Do you prefer? I'm also open to Tank Dell.
What do we got? What do we got for Tank?
53.5 receiving yards. Tank might be one we could do for spice too. So another one I wanted to look at, a guy I like a lot, is Ingram.
Okay. Yeah, I'm obviously in on that.
But I didn't have a strong read on receptions or receiving yards here with him.
Well, if you were this is the Ken Walker, is that John's? That's John's contribution to the core?
Yes.
What's your favorite? I mean, do you not want to double dip from the video?
No, it seemed like John didn't want to double dip. So
okay.
I'm trying to.
Well, I was going to say, let's make a unique one. But if one of those you feel so strong about, by all means, let's utilize it twice.
I like Tank Dell receiving yards. I will say, I just want to co-sign that.
The let's do Dobbins is the other guy.
Okay.
I mean, the Saints have been so bad. Do you guys like Dobbins rushing yards here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good with it. Yeah, I like that game just in general from the Chargers side. I thought the Chargers looked really good last week once they got the offensive line pieces back.
Yeah. And I mean, the Saints are just coming off a back-to-back. I mean, just a generational sieve. I mean, what the Bucks did to them and then the Broncos last week. And like I still like Vidal like a good bit. But I think this is Dobbins is gonna feast here at
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, this seems
All
like
right,
a pretty
Nez.
fair number too.
All
Tyler
right, Nez,
alluding,
this is the one that's gonna get pulled quickly. So I'm gonna move quickly here.
John, what were you saying?
just Tyler alluding to in the chat how Saints D is getting a little bit healthy. So is Saints O line, which is a nice contribution for the Kamara and Taysom conversations we had earlier.
I'm surprised you even included Kamara and just didn't say some conversation.
I just
All
said,
right.
that was like, that's my equivalent of being PC was like also Kamara.
Yeah.
Kareem Hunt, 17.5 rushing attempts higher. Lock it in.
Okay. Here it is. We're moving quickly. Let me make sure none of my can I trick one of these boosts into working for me?
No, John mushed that, so it has to be a football play.
I actually think I'm to blame for that. That's crazy.
Yeah, you made that known very quickly and very loudly that those are as they say, because of course it is.
Okay, look at this. See, this is this might be one of the first times I feel like our core has been 3 running backs. Yeah. We've fully capitulated to the NFL meta here.
It coincides with the week too, right? This is where like our confidence lies, I think, are these running backs. I like it. I like it a lot. And it's 3 different stats too. We got some receptions, some rushing yards, and rushing attempts. I like it.
Yeah. I love how Nez said this was going to go away so fast, and Pete's taking a decade to drop this in the private chat.
Oh, my bad.
They were following along.
I thought everyone's playing along at home.
I set the table that like you guys you guys can't be waiting for links here. Okay, you need to be on the ready.
I get it. I'm a link snob too. If you post a screenshot of a goddamn pick'em and you don't have a link with it, just get the hell out of here. I don't even want to see it. I don't want to see it. I don't care. Make it actionable.
Thank you.
All right. Should we go game stack?
Yeah. I got one more that I was considering with the core that I just wanted to throw out there to get like a temperature check on it from you guys.
Yeah.
Post rookie, bye week rookie bump, blah, 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 blah. Wait, maybe it wasn't even bye week. Maybe I just made that up in my head. What about this 39.5 receiving yards for Xavier Worthy with DeAndre Hopkins coming into town, taking a little more attention in the middle, just said he was going to play, blah, blah, blah.
Let me look at my advanced stats here. So I don't see a Davis tweet that says Xavier Worthy is cooked. So I'm probably off that, but there's still time.
Yeah, I guess honestly that doesn't seem bad to me. I'd almost just rather play Xavier Worthy as a spice bomb.
Okay.
And just see like, especially because they have been using some rushing stuff too, and just being like at 1.46. Can we just get a TD from him? But I like that shout.
All right, maybe we'll save that one for the spice it up. What game environment do you guys like? Because you know the 2 that I like, and they're both sloppy and ugly. So if you guys want to pick something else, by all means.
Wait, what's the other one along with Indy and Houston?
I don't think we should use it. I said the slop it up. Other one was Saints Chargers. It might be a little too thin.
I guess from we're picking up a game flow thing.
It might also not be fast enough.
Mm-hmm. I like the I would say either Buffalo, Seattle, or that Houston Indy game.
Good with either. Nez, break the tie, my friend.
I would go Buffalo, Seattle. I do want to throw this out there. Our game environment plays are typically games that we like. We think both ends of the spectrum are going to do well and boost each other up in their statistics. What if we play like Giga Blowout on one of these and we take lowers and higher for opposite ends of the spectrum? Maybe we do I prefer Buffalo, Seattle out of those 2. But just to throw that out there, just maybe a
Sorry,
bonus.
what do you mean? You mean like we do 4 hires from one team and 1 lower from the losing team?
Yeah, or like multiple lowers from the losing team.
Okay, if we were gonna do that, I would pick a different game environment than Buffalo, Seattle, though.
100%. I'm talking.
okay,
I
okay.
didn't even throw that. I didn't tell you the game.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Just-
Okay. Because if I'm gonna do that, I want to do that with the Bryce Young shit.
Okay. There's a lot of options to do that.
Because
I was going to suggest Titans and Lions.
Yeah.
Which one do we want to do for a traditional? Because Nez, we could kind of mashing up the haterade with the.
I know. I'm like, we keep expanding these pickup segments. I'm sorry.
This is the haterade game environment
for the fun.
Buffalo, Seattle
for the super fun hires play of the week.
Buffalo, Seattle. We can start with some of the. It doesn't look like we have anything fantasy points up yet. We were talking earlier about the Lockett stuff. I think we start with a pick we already like, right? We already said we like the Kenneth Walker 3.5. Should we just have a little overlap there?
Yeah. I think that makes sense, right? I mean, we all like that play. We think this game is going to shoot out. That's a part of it.
Yeah. Nez, what do you like in this game?
Where do I begin? I mean, I think this game is going to be super awesome. And I think I'm most into, so I just want to see Geno passing attempts, how heavy that dock is pretty massive. So maybe not Geno.
I'm seeing 35.5 at even.
35.5 even. Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking about like when you pair it with Ken Walker, that dock, it's
gotcha.
You'd lose like 0.7 on the multiplier. What if we just do like passing yards is even that's still because I think Geno's going to pass a lot. So it's just like, how do we want to play it?
If we make up for it with like a TD, like say, I was kind of eyeing that Lockett TD at 1.37, although that feels a little light to me for what we should be getting, but we could make that up. I don't mind the if we
guys
like
want to know how you make it up?
Yeah, how?
It's not, you're not gonna like it. 172 Dalton Kincaid.
I mean, I agree with you. Just the chat might hate it, but I agree with you.
Liam at home right now. Just like, go up. Go up.
He's doing the Antonio Banderas gif right now. Just
we'll put it in as a tentative placeholder. Let's see where we land here. Because we're at an 8x right here. So we did get past the traditional 6x for a trio.
Yeah, what do you guys like more, the passing yard? Because we get less of the dock on passing yards. So like passing yards or pass attempts for Geno.
I'm a yardage guy, traditionally speaking, because the attempt stuff has to get home in a very specific game script where they're like trailing and throwing a lot and whatever. Whereas like the yardage stuff, he's so prone to hitting that DK over the top. Not that DK is going to play, but just insert Tyler Lockett there over the top stuff and like 60 yards. And what would have been like 4 dink and dunk pass attempts is now eclipsed by 70 yards.
Yeah. My only thought though too would just be like, without Metcalf to break off some big plays, that kind of, I feel like hurts the yardage ceiling a little bit, but it's not a bad yardage total by any means. So I don't mind.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I'm like, I'm open to either. So I just want to throw that out there, but I think Geno is always going to be one of my favorite ways to play it. He seems like a very safe variable for our pick'em.
There actually is more. We get a better multiplier on passing yards versus attempts if we want to just break.
I think that's yep. Yeah, I think that's perfectly fine.
Okay. Other stuff we like here. I can believe it, but I can't believe that the Tyler Lockett has higher receiving yards and touchdown odds than JSN.
Wow. What do you guys think about James Cook receiving yards? last week he had 0. Coming up an injury and also like just crushed Tennessee. I mean, I think he can get like 13.5 on one catch.
Yeah, I'm looking at his utilization right now with the utilization report. Before last week, his targets were 3, 1, 5, 1, and 3.
Ty Johnson had a couple receiving touchdowns.
Ty Johnson, yeah. I do like something with James Cook. I like him in this game. I just don't know if receiving yards. I almost would rather play him through. I'd like to play James Cook through fantasy points if I could.
Yeah.
Well, Keon Coleman, 30 yards and 2.5 receptions. Those numbers just seem low.
But that they were getting docked. I would probably do yards.
Yeah. So past 4 weeks, 7 targets, 4 targets, 5, 4. He's had catches of 5, 3, 1, and 4. His ADOT is pretty high. He's at almost a 14 ADOT. So I think you take the yards with Keon.
Yep. Yeah. No dock compared to the receptions.
So this is already up to a 14. I do think because this dock, I think we could get less spicy on Kincaid if we want. Like if we want to settle in the 20x range and not take on the Kincaid TD variants. I don't want to harsh your mellow, John, on you and Liam's DMs these days.
No, I'm good.
Bro, he's going to score a TD, bro.
He's due.
When the fuck did Liam become Davis?
Everyone of my
gonna score a touchdown. It's gonna happen.
Marcus Robinson, the worst fucking pick of all time.
Actually, shout out Davis for the skate video. The skate video was actually legit. He sent it to me in the Discord today, and I was like,
"You just saw
it?" I asked him if he still skated, and yeah, I said it was the most impressive thing anyone in a Mahomes jersey has done in a while.
So, what do we think for Kincaid? Yardage, right?
John, what do you like, yardage or receptions?
Receptions. Low A dot Dawson Knox bullshit.
Okay. All right, so we're up to now we're back to let me just see what a random thing gets us. A random thing gets us up to a 15x. So let's see if we can get
for a game environment.
Yeah. Someone Stars was mentioning Noah Fant receptions. He's definitely seen a pretty nice expanded role. I actually like yards for Fant. He's been doing a decent amount after the catch. I would be fine with Fant higher than 31.5 receiving yards.
Yeah, let's see how that correlates with Geno there.
Yeah.
It gets us to
reception, gives us another percentage multiplier.
Sorry. I had James Cook in there. I needed Dalton Kincaid, right?
Yeah, we have right now we have Dalton Kincaid receptions.
Yeah, so that only gets us to 11. Maybe we do go to the Dalton type TD here.
Based on this, yeah.
So the TD gets us to the 21. I think we need to pick a TD where it's either like we do like Lockett or JSN TD. We need some TD in this to make it work.
Yeah, I think that's like critical to keep these payouts attractive. We typically do have a tight end in or a touchdown in these. So I like what we have here.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. All right. We're locking this one in here for the audio listeners, and we'll get the link that I'm going to drop in the chat right away, or John will yell at me.
Pete's I wanted to go away, man. Newbie already ripped it.
Yeah. Kenneth Walker higher 3.5 receptions. Geno higher 243.5 passing yards. Keon Coleman higher 30.5 receiving yards. Noah Fant higher 31.5 receiving yards. Dalton Kincaid higher with a touchdown.
Nice.
And
all right, your most important
one or two more here.
Nez, your most important credential is that it gets over 1,000 if you put it at 50. That's the most important credential in making Nez pick'ems.
Just get to 1,000. Find a way. Find a way. So maybe we just do a haterade, and we can maybe look at the other picks later because we have two really good spots to find haterades. I think in Carolina and in Tennessee. You guys just call, but maybe we just do the haterade here.
The only thing I will say is I will honestly, again, just looking at our splits, I will even propose nixing the haterade and doing a second game stack just because I feel like we've been so much better at game stacks of everything.
So maybe we do a blend then, like I was saying.
Your blowout blend, and we'll get the haterade in that. Yeah.
Okay, Tennessee and Lions or Carolina and Denver.
Let's do the Denver one because we like the Bo Nix stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Guess without. Oh, he pulled it up now. I can't believe.
Oh, my bad.
Okay, Nez, without looking, guess what Bryce Young's passing yards is in the lobby
with no Deontay.
Yeah, or Thielen.
170. Lower.
You're shitting me.
Lower. 156.
Oh my
God. It's hard to hate when the underdog line makers have already hated for us.
Oh my God.
Former 101. Holy.
Is he gonna scramble?
He's gonna
have to.
He's gonna be running for his life.
I'm not gonna say try. If you think Bryce Young's gonna have an interception in this game, you are losing multiplier. It is a dock to say Bryce Young is throwing a pick in this game. Oh my Lord.
I would start by proposing a lower passing touchdown, Bryce Young.
Let's see. What's that price stat?
It's even.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Like, I love that, John. That's a great hate.
And we did Nick's rushing to start.
Yeah, I tossed that. I figure we keep a little overlaps when we have them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Dude, Javonte. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Javonte is a multiplier to score a touchdown in this game.
Yeah.
Okay.
How does that compare to like Dobbins? What was Dobbins is even money? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to propose Javonte Williams scores a touchdown.
I like it.
Is there any chance that Jonathan Brooks is active this week?
No, he's doubtful.
Okay.
So what else do we want to...
I think a Chuba lower makes sense.
Rushing?
Mm-hmm. It's 60.
What's the Miles Sanders numbers? Are there Miles Sanders numbers?
There are 16.5 and then 30.5. I don't want to do anything with receiving just if they're playing 3/4 of check downs and all of that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Right.
I honestly think I probably more so the rushing yards. Yeah, that's a big number.
Yep.
We kind of already saw the story last week, right? Washington blowout, 17 attempts for 52 yards. I guess he's still there. 17. They're projecting him for 14.5.
How did they get their doors blown off last week by the backup quarterback, Mariota and whatever? But they get their doors blown off, and Chuba doesn't even get the targets or receptions. We had that in our core last week, the 3.5 receptions or whatever. And the game script goes perfectly. He plays all the snaps and he doesn't get any targets.
Yeah. Do you want to lean into that and play take the extra 20 some yards with total scrimmage yards or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you're scared of the.
Well, I'm just saying, even looking at when he is getting targets in these games, he had 5 receptions. It's not like we're getting PPR, death by 1,000 cuts here. I mean, he had 11 yards and -2. So I almost wonder if we just take the extra cushion.
Yep. Yeah. No, it's hard to talk. It's hard to say otherwise.
All right. Do we want Denver?
Lower.
Oh,
put it. Oh God, that would have been
rookie mistake.
Your boy would have been placing the same bet twice with one all tweak. Do we want to do something with a Broncos pass catcher?
Yes, I think we should.
Is it finally a Sutton? Where's the Sutton stuff?
Sutton, the one getting locked down. Your boy Coker's got some numbers up. I mean, if any week's Coker week, it's this week, right?
It's so nice that all the Coker bros, finally quieted down after last week.
Okay, so
If we
go ahead, John.
If we add Cortland Sutton 43.5 yards, I mean, the roll was very strong prior to getting the Marshawn Lattimore treatment last week.
Yeah,
I don't know. If you add that, we get to 21x.
It honestly, the only other one I would consider would be Troy Franklin, just because his role has really been expanding of late, but it is just like a way more volatile thing.
What's his number compared to Sutton?
Yeah, so Franklin is 27.5 receiving yards, or 2.5 receptions, although they're juicing that down. So they're expecting him to get 3 receptions a good chunk of the time. And I feel like when he is getting 3 receptions, he's probably getting 27.5 yards.
Agreed. Although I'm
good with either.
That wasn't the case for our second half pick'em of last Thursday night. He needed 1 catch to get there, and then he was a half yard short.
Yeah. I mean, outside of the Lattimore ordeal, like you said, the stuff has been solid for Sutton. I don't mind going there to Sutton. Do you have a preference on probably just receiving yards with him?
Yeah, I think either way we play yardage with the Sutton or the Franklin, and I actually like both numbers.
Me too.
Yeah, find people on both sides. I think Franklin.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it. That gets us to a nice 21x here. And let's see, there you go. The nice 1050. We'll do 50 on this one here.
Beautiful.
Drop this in the private chat. And
Tyreek DNP, we gonna get a fall?
Oh, really?
Tyreek DNP, Waddle FP. Nez's dog bowl bags, baby. Nez's bags right now.
Hey, can we read the fine print here? Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill foot listed as questionable after not practicing today. Mike McDaniel is optimistic Tyreek Hill will play Sunday. I think we're fine. Everybody relax.
I'm just a clickbait headlines guy, Pete.
Don't actually no, you're right. As someone who was saying he liked taking Tyreek at 101 and wouldn't mind cheaper Tyreek Hill, he's untouchable.
He's untouchable right now.
All right,
let's slap a Q tag on him, Numi.
Please.
Let's do wrap up with a spice bomb. We'll do a spice core with 3, and then we'll try to hit the home run 5-leg spice bomb here. So as always, who's scoring? Shout out Underdog. Now I just noticed this. We have different filter options.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Wow.
And you can filter by game now too. So if you type in the initials for a game, you can get the @ sign.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay. So let's start here, guys. Who's scoring a touchdown this week?
I'm trying to find a good multiplier to put in here. I'm going to start off by looking at ATL and Tampa Bay, trying to find something here that I like. I know you don't like. You said you didn't like Drake London this week. Is it just like a game environment thing? You're just worried about pass volume for him?
I guess I'm just a little. Yeah, I think I'm more worried about his ceiling a little bit, but it doesn't make me dislike the touchdown angle. I think
I like his touchdown. 1.17x. You know, not like overly spicy, but I like the matchup against Tampa Bay. I think, you beat them by passing. And I mean, the biggest bro science of all time, but 3 straight games with a touchdown, guys. Why not 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, we could have really used that 4th touchdown 2 weeks ago that he dropped for a nice dog bowl seat there.
My only objection is I really wanted to put Kyle Pitts in our expanded Spice Score for a touchdown, and I probably wouldn't want to do both London and Pitts, but let's just cross that bridge when we get there.
Okay. For now. I'll work on a backup for the expansion.
John, who's scoring a touchdown this week?
Xavier Worthy, 1.4x.
Oh yeah, we talked about that one.
That's good. That's really good.
Well, and because we're doing it, and because it's fucking Short King summer, bro, Tank Dell, we're doing it.
1.3 is very nice.
That was the quickest consensus core we've come to in a while.
We're on our stuff, man. What can you say? We're dialed in.
That one just like felt good from the rip. Like if I'm just going like vibes, I might go 2 units on this one just based on the vibes and how we got there.
Wow.
It's a little too clean to not.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Actually,
there's a reason. There's a reason we haven't brought up his name yet. And although I kind of want to go look, I swear to God, if it's over 2. If it's over 2.
No.
Pete, opening night of NBA, my go-to guy was Miles McBride, and someone in the chat was instantly like, we switched sports, we pivot sports, and John still can't stop jamming McBride.
Yeah, exactly. We generally do looking at the I legit haven't looked at the Kyle Pitts yet, but 1.55.
If you don't hear the name Kyle Pitts and think of one of 2 things, either the spicy margs or instantly just say, "Can you do something for me?" You're not a Pete over Zed fan. Because every time I say Kyle Pitts, all I hear is the randomizer song in my head.
Kyle Pitts, yeah. Okay, this is the one. This is the tight end one here.
Oh,
David
nice.
Njoku, 1.76.
No Pitts. No Pitts.
Well, do we want to do it with the core, or do we want to do a spin? Hang on, this is it. God, this is Spice Core number 2, and then we build a 5-leg with all the favorites.
Okay. All right. Good.
So do you want to do? You want to do Pitts? Do you want to do an all tight end one?
If we're doing an all tight end one, you know who I want to play. So
who?
This. Oh, come on.
Who?
Taysom.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, you have so many dusty tight ends you like, it's hard to know which one you're talking about.
Wow.
1.94. Now we're fucking cooking.
I mean, I just want to say, if you're following along at home on mobile, 15x for 2.
Not financial advice.
Never.
Hey, can you guys remind me how many touchdowns he scored the last game he played? And he only played half a game?
Was it more than 1?
It was definitely more than 1.5.
Wow.
All right. So now let's so the favorite ones, I do legitimately love that Taysom one at 1.94.
Replace
that. That's definitely a favorite.
You want to replace London with that?
Yeah, let's do London. I really like that Njoku one.
Yeah, I threw Njoku in there.
London.
Okay, so I just got it.
There's one other one that we were big fans of before, and we do think Tyreek's going to play, but 1.46 Jalen Waddle.
Okay. I don't hate that.
You know, I like it, man.
Just out of curiosity, what is like Achane and Mostert? 1.05 Achane and 1.38 Mostert. Wow. I thought Mostert would be higher. They're not giving us anything.
No.
Okay, so Njoku, Taysom, London. That's already 23.
And you want to play the Waddle angle?
If you throw Waddle in for 1.4,
we got to get 100
All right.
Yeah. So let me just see what's
what's Worthy take it to?
An even touchdown puts us at 117.
Oh wow.
So if you add Xavier Worthy to this bad boy,
we're gonna be flying.
170. Underdog's maxing me at 23. That's a sign.
That is a sign.
That's the GOAT's number.
There it is.
Yeah, the signs. The signs. The GOAT, 23. Brawny this week played with him.
All right, we're calling this the Mega Spice. All right.
I just wanted to say one last thing in general about the Miami stuff.
Yeah.
Because I watched the shit ton of that game last week. Mostert had the 3 high-value touches in the red zone at and around the goal line before we get crazy out over our skis on all the HN plays and all this whatever. I don't know. He should out rushed him last week. He had almost as many touches, and he had the 3 in the red zone. So I'm going to play him in the 12-mans.
I like it, man.
There you go. Nez, any other final thoughts from you?
Yeah, I'm gonna try really hard to get a nose strip stream in tonight. Like I said, I got a lot of unpacking to do. I actually have some more stuff to carry over, but I think we can make it work. I'm a little motivated after seeing the comments. People would like to see it, so plan on it. It'll be pretty last minute, but just know it's coming.
Yes. Looking forward to that. Thank you guys again. Hang out. We all love doing this show. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channels. You guys can become YouTube members, support us, support the Badge Bros, doing all kinds of great stuff on the reg over here. And I will see you guys on Saturday night for After Dark with Zakarian, and we will paste the links to these pick'ems in the show notes. We'll pin it in the comment. John dropped it in the Badge Bros channel the other day as well. So we'll get them out there for you guys so you can tail us and sweat it with us. And the only thing we didn't do is include one of them from a Monday Night Football. So the
carryover. Yeah.
Maybe Sunday we can build another one and we'll let you guys know if we do that. But otherwise,
that's an one, Pete. Just sorry to cut you off as you're doing this video, but that's an interesting one because there's so much FUD right now around who's going to play at the wide receiver position between Debo and Jennings and all that sort of stuff for that. Oh, I guess that's Sunday night. My bad. Okay, never mind.
That's the Sunday. Yeah.
Well,
I don't think I played a primetime Palooza slate as bad as I played that past one. I was blacking out and taking Juwan Johnson. I had way too much Sam Darnold. Like, it was probably my worst play on a single slate all year at this prime time. So I don't even want to think about that game anymore.
Maybe the only reason I want to think about it is because it's probably the best I've played in a while. So
I'm going to be fucking swapping to Jacob Cowing. All right, we're getting out of here. Have a good night, guys.